Welcome back to Up North at 4, and joining us now is Zach Hext, the owner of Magic Man Games in downtown Rhinelander. And Zach, you've been on my radar as someone to get on the show for a while. I don't know if that is good or bad. I
don't know if that's a good or a bad thing,
Yeah, we can decide after the fact. But the reason, though, I reached out to you to get you on the show is because I feel like for the past few years, people, not only that I work with here at the station, but also friends I have from college, friends from high school, friends in other circles of life, have really gotten into tabletop gaming.
Yes.
It's been a huge rise recently. What have you noticed as an owner?
So it is one that I don't want to say necessarily a rise lately. It's been a rise just period.
Yeah.
But it's one that I knew Rhinelander had a good gaming community. I knew we had a lot of people up here. I didn't know how many until like you get into it and get involved with the community and very supportive, of it. There's just so many people up here in the Northwoods that play games. I mean, it is the birthplace of D&D, like Geneva. So Wisconsin's got good ties to a lot of tabletop games and things like that. It's amazing to see how many people are actually involved and enjoy these games.
Absolutely.
So you're the owner of the store, I heard. Okay, congratulations once again.
You.
Great store. So what's your top 3 most popular tabletop games? I know there's a lot of people that come in and out. What's like your most popular type?
Yeah, so I mean, we've got a lot of people that get involved with everything. But I mean, a lot of what we do, Warhammer has been really, really big for us. There's a lot of people that play Warhammer. We're up to like 50 to 60 active players in the area, which is crazy. So any of the tabletop miniatures of war games like Bolt Action, I brought in a few things on the table to show too.
Yeah.
So any of those miniature games are really, really popular. Number 2, of course, is going to be some of the card games. Pokemon is really huge for us.
I used to play that.
Yeah, and it's not only the kids but also the adults that are playing, and of course, board games. Everybody loves board games, and there's so many board games out there.
So many.
Yeah, there's something for everybody.
Yeah. What I love too, and you kind of mentioned it too, you brought some of these pieces, right? I guess if you want to call it. There's like 2 sides to the tabletop game community. One where people are playing the games, and then another where they're creating these figures, painting them. Like, how cool is that just to see? Like,
I love it. It's fantastic to see because you're kind of melding 2 different facets of things. Like there's a creative side to it. People that are painting these miniatures, building them. Some of the kits, they'll come on sprues, so you have to actually cut out the individual pieces, glue them together, and then paint them. It's fantastic to see the creative side of people and the things that they do with some of these miniatures, because they'll do custom stuff too, which is just phphenomenal.
So do you guys also have like Legos or?
So not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
That's something that's on my radar. Nice. We're looking at kind of the things in the future, and that's something that's on my short list. So not currently, but there's a chance that we'll get it at some point in the future. Yeah.
So Zach, I've never played Dungeons and Dragons.
Same.
And I know it's huge right now. So I went ahead. I don't really know how this works, but I made a character for myself and for Conrad. And so I'd like to show you Conrad's character right now. Just give me some feedback. I like to consider Conrad. I was looking it up. I'm like, Conrad, I feel like he fits the description of a half orc. No offense, Conrad, don't take it the wrong way. You're shorter in stature, but you're built. So you'd be a fighter, and I feel like you'd be the guy with like the axe, going to town, getting bloody combat.
Riding the horse in war,
I feel like that fits Conrad.
Well, but even then, like a half orc it's one where you're not fully all the way there. You're
kind of there.
Kind of there.
Kind of there. I hope so. At least kind of,
I'll give it as a compliment, Conrad.
Yeah.
For myself, I don't really understand what a halfling is, but like based on the description, they're like, halflings seem pretty low-key and chill. I feel like I'm pretty low-key and chill. I want to
I mean, there you go. Yeah, halflings are like the short statue. They get in and out of places. They're, they're good and sneaky, lucky is one of their big things. They have luck feats and things like that. So
I think were these good choices?
I mean, I would say so. I think they're fine.
It kind of has your structure. It's kind of taller, skinnier.
Well, and even then, D&D is set up in such a way that you can play whatever you want to play any sort of character you want to play. So if you guys want, if these are what you want to, if you want to try,
I like it.
I like it.
That one,
And hey, we got some. Your store has something for literally everybody. We're going to discuss some of that in a little bit. We're going to take a break, though. Stick with us on Up North at 4. Welcome back to Up North at 4, joined by Zach Hext, the owner of Magic Man Games here in Rhinelander, and Conrad's got the Vanna White gloves on. You're looking good back there, by the way,
Thank you so much. Helping you guys out.
But Zach, I did want to talk to you because we were discussing before, obviously, tabletop games on the rise right now.
Oh, of course.
Dungeons and Dragons, Warhammer, the very competitive board game scene. But there's a lot of people who say, I want to get into games. I don't know if I have time to really get into it.
Yeah.
But there's different
There is tons of things, stuff for everybody that's got it. You know, you can always find something. I always say for every age group, for every skill level, interest of game, there is something for everybody. Don't feel like shy. Just, you know, come down if you're ever interested in stuff. Come down. We'll get you set up. We'll get you something. Because there's tons of really cool games out there.
Okay.
Okay, what's like the oldest age game, I'd say? Because I remember back in the days, I was like 8 years old. I really wanted to play this one game. And my cousin's like, you can't. It says 12 plus. And I really had to wait till 12 years old to play that game with him. I really had to wait, Yeah, so a lot of times those suggestions, is what I like to say, they are much less a thing of, you know, hey, hard and fast rules. It's more of reading comprehension, that kind of stuff. So you can fudge the numbers a lot of times on these games. I'll talk to
some
him
are going to be
about
a little more complicated than others, like some of the stuff that I've got here. You know, like Carcassonne might be a little bit more complicated than some of the other ones. Canvas might be a little bit hard to follow than some of the others. But for the most part, just try it.
Yeah.
You know.
So I'm curious, out of the games you have up here, let's say I'm getting a group of friends together this weekend. We're going to have some drinks. We're just going to low-key night. I want to play a game, have some fun. We can laugh at each other. What would you recommend?
So for that type of situation, hibachi. Hibachi is kind of my go-to. Competitive cooking. You are literally hibachi chefs trying to cook different meals as quick as possible. So there's a big giant board that you set on your table, and you have little like poker chips that you actually toss onto the table to try to land on the different spots to get your ingredients, and then you can use those to make the dishes. But it is so much fun, and trying to like mess with other people while you're like trying to knock their pieces off.
Bit of sabotage in there.
Yes, it is a perfect game to just relax, have a bit of fun,
laugh at each other.
And also another thing I know, it's pretty fun to play some card games. I see you guys some Pokemon here. What's this right here?
So I brought with me some Magic the Gathering, which is, of course, one of the big popular ones. This is the new Aftermath set, which is sweet. We brought Pokemon. Of course, there's a Digimon. There's a Digimon card game that brought. The new game is actually really, really good. So we carry that in the store, run events for it, things like that. And then, of course, Flesh and Blood, which has been just massive for us. Newer game a couple years ago that kind of started up. We picked it up, and it's just we've got a massive community for it that loves it.
And you said too, with Flesh and Blood, that one right there, if you want to pick that up, Conrad, you said there's a huge competitive market behind that as well.
We kind of got into their competitive scene. We got picked to run some of the like higher level events. In January we ran a ProQuest event, which was the winner gets an invite to ProQuest, which was both from Maryland. So they got to go out and have fun, play for money and prizes and things like that. But we're running another one. We got Road to Nationals, which is coming up in a couple weeks in the end of May here. And we're like one of like 3 or 4 stores in the state to hold one.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's huge for us. Like, it's super, super cool to be involved in that type of stuff and be able to support those communities in the way that they, you know, play the games. Like, it's fantastic.
Accept everything. So before you go here, Zach, I have one final question for you. I always say default to the experts. You're my expert here. Let's say I can only play one game for the rest of my life. What are you recommending? I'm putting you on the spot.
One game for the rest of your life. Wow. Okay, well, so my personal favorite right now, which I think is a fantastic game to if I had to get stuck with it, Ticket to Ride.
Ticket to Ride.
That sounds cool.
I've heard of that one before.
It's a tried and true staple, but it's one that I could live with if I had to play that for the rest of my life.
Hey, you heard the man. You heard the man. So go check it out at the store, Zach. I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, no problem.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on Up North at 4. Hey, thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.